A little bit of motivation. I'll be making some trades. Price just hit our first TP, which means we are up around $70, $80. Alright, y'all. So we're here looking at gold. Gold had this pretty big high recently. This was a Tuesday. I was not trading Tuesday, but price had this crazy high right here and started tapering off, entered a little consolidation phase throughout the rest of the week. So we're here on Friday. Is either a push out of this zone right here, so past this trend line, and wait for price to retest that trend line. Once price retests that trend line, I will then carry that out to the upside, straight bullish position, and let that ride out. If not, price will fall down below this zone, and I'll wait a little bit, let it get a little lower into our 14. Let me scale down to the 15-minute here. I want to be bullish, but knowing we just hit that high and price is creating some lows right here, I'd say once price breaks through this area of resistance right here, I think I'm confident entering a sell position, because I want to see price drop below this trend line. I want to see price drop below this trend line and continue down to the downside. You see we're creating lower lows. Let me draw that trend line for you so you can get a better visualization. So price is falling. You see price falling here. Let me change the color. So as you can see here, price is approaching a downtrend. We're not exactly in a downtrend yet. What makes this a downtrend is when price breaks below this low here. Until price breaks below this low, we are still in an uptrend. So my game plan here, wait for price to break through that support zone. Wait for price to break through that support zone right there, and I will be confident in entering that trade down to recent lows. So let's see how that plays out. Price is slowly falling below our VWAP, which is another good sign. Still wait for price to smack that, well, not smack it, but go through our trend line, retest, and continue to the downside. How long that's going to take to play out, I don't know, but the wait is on. Catch you guys when something happens. Alright, y'all, still on gold. You can see that price has broken the VWAP, which is a good sign. We're just waiting for price to keep pushing down. Hopefully it keeps pushing down, and break through that trend line. Once we break through that trend line, that gives us that confidence to not only enter the trade, but wait for that retest and carry it out all the way. So I'll get back to you guys once that trade fills out. All right, y'all, back into the trade. We have price pushing up. That was definitely not a part of the plan, but I'm not worried at all, because what I see here is on the 15-minute time frame, a large order block, large sell orders right here. So we're just gonna wait it out, wait for price to push up to that area, and hopefully it goes right back down, because as we know before, again, looking at price action, price has created a lower low, and yet to create another high. So what that tells us is we are still in a somewhat downtrend. What that means for me is look for your entry point, which I see mine there, our big order block entry point right there, and we just ride that all the way to our new lows. What goes up must come down. Put my seatbelt on. That's some bad habits. So I am in on this trade.
In 800 feet, turn left onto New York 303 north/south Route 3.
So I'm in on this trade. We took a short position on gold like I wanted. What ended up happening was price was creeping upwards, which we didn't really
turn
want,
left onto New York 303
but smacked the fair value gap.
03.
I'll try and throw it in the video somewhere. Smacked the fair value gap and started to moonwalk downwards. So we're just gonna hold this trade and see what happens. As you can see, price is above our VWAP, but I'm not too concerned about that. I'm still overall bearish because price did have that, gold did have that all-time high not too long ago. So scaring me, buddy. Price did have that all-time high this Tuesday, so I am feeling confident in this bearish play. All I need is for price to break below that that little trend line we have there, that little support, and I'm golden. I already know. Just sit back and enjoy the ride. So I'll get back to y'all whenever price does something cool. Waiting to break that support zone. As we break support, we're in for the ride. Shit, I've been in the ride. Currently up around $50. Been in the ride. Needed to break that support zone. Good money. Working 3 jobs, even though it sounds horrendous, it sounds terrible, it sounds like a never-ending nightmare. I do what I love, and if you're gonna work a job, that's the only thing that matters. Do what you love and make sure you're getting respected. That's it. Price is still dancing, but I am literally obsessed with cars. So why wouldn't I have 3 different jobs, all automotive industry related, right? That just makes sense. If you have skills, you hone in on them. If you have passions, you hone in on them. It's the only way you're gonna get things done. If you just keep playing around with ideas, you would just be sitting around with a bunch of ideas with no work done. If you have a passion, do that passion. You know what I'm saying? There's no reason why you shouldn't be doing what you like to do. Like, at all. Even if you have to work a job, do what you like. Even if it don't pay as much as that other job, get that job, trust me. Because you don't know what doors will open just by you being yourself and thriving in a place you want to be. Still playing. I'm gonna put this phone down because there's no good that comes from micromanaging your trades. Once you're in a trade, sit on your hands. If I wasn't driving, I would be sitting on my hands and just let it play out. There's no point in trying to actively manage touch a trade. Unless you're just moving stop losses, let that thing go. Let that thing go and trust your original decision. Even if you were right mid-trade and switching or getting out, stick to that trade. It's easier said than done, but stick to that trade, because that's what develops winning strategies. You won't know you have a winning strategy until you have a strategy. And you don't have a strategy if you keep changing your strategy mid-trade. So take a trade, or find a strategy, take a trade, and stick to it. Because when it starts to work, it works over and over and over again. And the next thing you know, you're profitable. It's not some overnight thing. Of course not. But when it comes, it comes. Why? When it arrives, right? And it's God's time, and it's not yours. Everything is in His time. And so if you have been at this for years on end, like myself, that doesn't mean quit. That doesn't mean move on to something else. That means to keep your head down. That means your work here is not done. And that means if you want it bad enough, you will have it. This isn't a biblical theology channel, but in the Bible it does say, if you want it bad enough, you will have it. You can have anything that you want with the deepest desire. The deepest desire. If you want something bad enough, you will have it. And I believed that before I found the scripture. A quick update. Price is still on the move down. Price just hit our first take profit. Oh shit. A little bit of motivation while we making some trades. Price just hit our first TP, which means we are up around $70, $80. Price hit our TP1. Price hit TP right there. So what that tells me is we need to get the fuck out of this trade before price touches around that support zone and sends us right back to where we don't want to be. At the time of filming this, I did not pick back up the camera. Price continued to the downside and hit our TP2, which was around a 1 to 2. Although I did not get into this trade, I did not get the chance to enter this trade, I'm still believing in the systems and the rules that I orchestrated for myself. And at the end of the day, that's what trading is all about. You know what I'm saying? It's the dedication and the willingness to keep on keeping on. And to know that you have the ability to create and achieve anything you desire.